The Dodgers are interested in signing all-star outfielder Kyle Tucker, but only under this condition. They did sign a pitcher. They made a roster move that we'll get into. We got an exclusive interview with the newest Dodger. We'll get into that. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto, is he recruiting Munetaka Murakami? That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Ronnie, the parade. We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 clock. Milky Magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is Dodgers Dugout Live with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation, a credentialed member of the media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. If you're new to the show, new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And if you want to support every single episode, hit the like button and drop a comment down below. Also, join the Discord. This show is brought to you by the LA Sports Report. It's my new show about all LA sports. Also, GearUp.LA, the official merchandise store of Dodgers Nation. Lots of fire Dodgers t-shirts and merchandise over there. You got hoodies now. You got all kinds of stuff over at GearUp.LA. Today's Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show. I asked you guys over on the X, how would you react if the Dodgers signed Kyle Tucker? Right now, 29% say ecstatic, 35% say happy, 31% say meh, and 5% say upset. We'll talk about that. Some pros and cons of Kyle Tucker. I'll try to sell you on the idea. I'll try to talk you out of the idea. Reminder that this is a live show. We got producer Robert rocking with us. Our guy Noel, he's on the 60-day IL, had a little knee surgery yesterday, so he'll get back when he's ready to roll. But we got Robert looking for all your comments of the show. He'll feature those during the 7th inning stretch, so be on the lookout for that. But it's time for some Dodgers Dugout Live, and there's so much to get into in the world of Dodger baseball. So let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so we got some news to get into, some other stories we'll touch on. We'll get to the rumors in a little bit. First thing I wanted to touch on, though, was if you look at the Dodgers transaction page, it says the Los Angeles Dodgers signed free agent left-handed pitcher Antwone Kelly to a minor league contract. So this is not the type of signing that makes you go buy a jersey and go crazy on social media and do cartwheels down 1000 Vince Scully Avenue. But a transaction is a transaction. And Kelly, 25, pitched last season for AAA Colorado Rocky. He was a Colorado Rocky, their AAA organization, the PCL for Albuquerque, posted a 5.63 ERA. And this is not one of those moves that you're going to go crazy about, but it's a depth piece. We'll see if he surfaces in any way. I always like to mention these guys during the offseason because when you hear them in the regular season, you're not completely shocked by it. Now, another move the Dodgers made yesterday was adding pitcher Ronan Kopp to their 40-man roster. And this was to lead up to the Rule 5 protection deadline, which was Tuesday. They had 2 openings on the 40-man roster, so they didn't need to make a corresponding move. And for Ronan Kopp, he's always had a ton of potential. There's good Kopp, there's bad Kopp, right? There's the Ronan Kopp that really dominates hitters, a 36% strikeout rate. That's the good Kopp. The bad Kopp is the 17% walk rate. Last season, he posted a 3.43 ERA across 57 and 2/3 innings for AAA Oklahoma City. He's 23 years old. He's got plus stuff. He can really dominate hitters with strikeouts. He's a left-handed pitcher, and both sides really struggled against him to get hits, but he also gave a 350 on base percentage because a lot of hitters at the plate, they're just waiting to draw that walk. But that is the move they made, and I think it really says a lot about how the Dodgers view pitching depth, right? You're not ruining baseball by working on the margins like they have, and you look at the depth of this team, you got Alex Vesia and Tanner Scott, Justin Robleski, Jack Dreyer, Anthony Bonda. Those are other left-handed relievers on the 40-man roster. Kopp is really interesting, though. Kopp is very interesting because, like I said, if you just get good Kopp and not bad Kopp, he's someone that could potentially help this team in a lot of different ways if you suffer an injury or you're just looking for some upside. But Dave Anderson, who's the pitching coach for AAA Oklahoma City, he was on my man Casey Porter's show, Dodgers Daily, and he broke down the improvements of Ronan Kopp for last season.
He's a true plus slider versus both left and right. And, you know, some of the things that he's bought into and we feel really confident that he understands now is the angle he creates out of hand. It's kind of the opposite of the Sammy Carlson effect, the low slot, the low vertical approach angle. He's leveraging the opposite. So, you know, you've got about a 6'5" release height, and it looks like it's coming from the clouds. So we essentially scrap the thoughts of killing vert with the slider and lean into powering it downhill, because the angle out of hand is going to take care of the visual of depth for the hitter, which allows him to throttle that thing in that 91, 93 range. It actually cracks me up because a lot of the boards we play at, and, you know, OKC's does it. It tags fastball sometimes. He's gotten to the point now that he can feel when he gets too far around the ball, which is when you're going to see more side spin come in. So there's going to be a little bit more depth, a little bit more sweep. And it's still a nasty pitch, but it doesn't look like it has the teeth, the visual, the power behind it. And he's started to really hone in. The other piece that helps him with is it eliminates the glove side pull and the arm side miss, because all he's thinking about is down angle. So it's like you're either downhill to the knees in zone or you're strike to ball below. And that allows him to play the north-south game with the fastball really well. He actually flashed a couple sub 1-4. We're not going to call it a slide step.
Nice.
It's a modified pickup. So it's essentially like a knee to knee. If he had a bar across the top of his knees, that's the height that the other one can go to. Once you hit that, it's go. A lot of the issue with that, not issue, but what we were working through with that was figuring out how much counter to preset so that he's already in the positions he needs to get to, that he gets in his load with the big leg kick where he has time to flip the pelvis, counter in. You know, he's able to do that from the preset position. So now it's just up and go. And now all of a sudden, too, it eliminates any thought of the delivery. It's just up, down, forward. Simple.
I love that stuff right there. I'm a nerd for that kind of stuff because it exemplifies how great the Dodgers organization is at the minor league level and the coaching they get. And what he's trying to say there is that we're trying to simplify the game for Kopp so we can go out there and just focus on getting hitters out and being his best self. And look, that has always been the issue with minor league pitchers and pitchers that don't make it at the big league level is you have to be able to throw strikes. I always say if you want to be the man, you have to have the command. And the same issues that have plagued him are the same ones with Antwone Kelly. And just a little more on Antwone Kelly, we talked about just a couple minutes ago, is this is a guy who was in the Futures game a couple years ago. And he pitched in the Futures game in 2022. He had a really good season in 2023 with the Rangers and their AA and AAA bullpens. Had a 2.04 ERA in 57 1/3 innings, a 32.1% strikeout rate, then a 9.3% walk rate. The trajectory was there. He just missed time with a forearm injury that really kind of derailed things. So we'll see. There's some interesting stuff there. I mean, he's had some high highs, he's had some low lows. And the Rockies, they outrighted him late in the season in August when he really was starting to struggle because the Rockies claimed him off of waivers from the Rangers back in July, And he was a former second-round pick, went from Milwaukee to Texas in the Matt Bush trade in 2022. Had that really good year in 2023. And then you saw the performance start to suffer. He missed time with that forearm injury. The control was bad. He had a 10.98 ERA in 19 2/3 innings between AA and AAA. And the strikeout rate went down, also a 25.4% walk rate. So that when he was at his worst, the walk rate was higher than the strikeout rate, a 23.7% strikeout rate. And he also hit a bunch of hitters too. So interesting project to get into. And that's kind of where the Dodgers are at, is trying to improve this roster any way they can at this part of the season. I see some really interesting comments about Jarren Duran. Could be an interesting trade target. We'll talk about him. See some stuff about Kyle Tucker, Murakami. Don't worry. We'll get to the trade stuff, the free agent stuff in a couple minutes here. We got some housekeeping to do. And another thing that we'll talk about as well is just the need for the Dodgers to revamp this bullpen this offseason. That is 100% something they need to do, a priority that they have. And that's evidenced by the fact that they have been linked to Edwin Diaz and Devin Williams. And I'm sure that they're going to consider signing some one-year guys, finding the Ryan Brazier types, maybe the Chris Martin types. Chris Martin is a guy who you could sign too and bring him back to LA. So you got to bring in guys that you feel like you're going to get on their best years. And from the bullpen, you just never know. It's a volatile position, lots of one-hit wonders. So get guys you can trust, but also spend money on some big ticket items as well. And just going back to Tyler Gough, who the Dodgers just traded for a couple of days ago. The Dodgers acquired minor league right-handed pitcher Tyler Gough from the Seattle Mariners in exchange for right-handed pitcher Robinson Ortiz. Now, Gough went 7-4 with a 4.33 ERA and 23 starts for the Low A Modesto Nuts. That's their name, the Modesto Nuts. It's kind of like the Ohio State Buckeyes. They're nuts. The Low A Modesto Nuts. In 2024, he didn't pitch last year because of the injury, the Tommy John, but across 2 seasons with the Nuts, he posted a 4.66 ERA, had 123 strikeouts and 125 and a thirds innings. He's 6'2". He was selected by the Mariners in the 9th round of the 2022 MLB draft. He is a Jay Serra kid from San Juan Capistrano. And I caught up with him yesterday. Got a chance to talk to him. I'm going to play the full interview. But here's a clip from it. Tyler Gough talking about his reaction to being traded to the Dodgers. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, presented by DodgersNation.com, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. And here joining us is the newest Dodger, pitcher Tyler Gough joins us here, stepping into the dugout. Tyler, first thing I want to know is how much of a whirlwind last couple of days this has been for you joining the reigning World Series champions Dodgers organization, my man.
I mean, it's pretty surreal. Things have happened pretty quickly, and the other day when I got the calls, it was unexpected to be sure. And my agent even called me. He was like, "Yeah, wasn't expecting this, but hey, here we go." So it's a new chapter that I'm looking forward to, and everybody on the Dodgers seems excited about it. So I'm looking forward to it.
So let's walk through this. So where were you? What time was it? Who told you? Just kind of walk us through the moment that you realized that you had been traded from the Mariners organization to the Dodgers organization.
Yeah, so I was in my kitchen, and I was actually making dinner for me and the lady, and my player director for the Mariners texted me. He was like, "Hey man, like shoot me a call when you get the chance." My immediate reaction when I saw that was like, "Oh no, here we go." So I stepped out onto my balcony and I give him a call, and he's like, "Hey man, like, how's it going?" I'm like, it's good. And he's like, "Yeah, so just want to let you know, like, you've been traded to the Dodgers. Really appreciate everything you've done for us, and I'm glad that you're recovering well, and appreciate it." So that call lasted maybe a minute, and then he was like, "Yeah, the Dodgers will call you here soon." So I was just kind of like, All right, here we go. So it was unexpected because I thought I had a pretty good relationship with the Mariners, but this is how the trade world goes. And then after that, I got in contact with my agent. And we started to figure all that stuff out, and then their player director actually called me, and we got to kind of just get a quick introduction, like welcome aboard. And then he was like, we'll have several different staff members be reaching out to you, documents, all that stuff that you get settled. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what has the communication been like with the Dodgers so far? Have you talked to any coaches, any of their current players? I know this is so fresh, but just curious who you've gotten into contact with from that Dodgers organization so far.
I've talked to the strength and conditioning coach already, the minor league coordinator for that, Dan Byrne. He got setting up an app for me for my workouts and stuff. And I'm supposed to talk to Rob Hill, who's their pitching coordinator, the minor league pitching coordinator. And we should be getting on a call here sometime later today to figure out where I'm at right now with my throwing and what's to be expected coming into January and spring training. So that's who's contacted me so far. I've also had some people with the HR team reach out to me and send me some documents and stuff. So
Shohei Yamamoto didn't shoot you a text saying, "Hey, welcome aboard. You're gonna help us win. You're gonna help us three-peat." Nothing like that so far.
Not yet. It could be.
It's coming though. It's coming. I promise you, it's coming.
You never know.
So, how does this change your off season as far as where you're at, kind of your plan? I mean, you're going to talk to Rob Hill, who's one of the best in the game at what he does, and I'm sure you might tweak some things as far as your preparation. But how do you expect this to change your off season, Tyler?
Honestly, not too sure. I don't know if it's going to be big or small or nothing changes at all. From what I heard from the player director, he was kind of just like, you're in a good spot right now. Obviously, you're coming back from TJ and you're only 4 weeks into your throwing program. Like, most of the changes that you might see in the future will be more towards when you come out here and we actually get eyes on you. For now, I think obviously once I talk to Rob Hill about what my throwing program looks like, and obviously he might have some tweaks and stuff for that. But other than that, right now, it kind of just stays the same.
And you are coming back from Tommy John surgery. And this is a Dodgers organization that's never been afraid to take a chance that on guys have had TJ. And you've had so many success stories in this organization. How much confidence does that give you, and how excited are you to work with an organization that just has so much history and a proven track record of getting guys back and right after those surgeries?
I'm excited. I'm stoked. I've heard nothing but good things from the org, and it's going to be fun to pick their brains, see what their mindset is at from a young pitching perspective, and obviously go through what their process is for me and what their expectations are. So looking forward to it.
And how would you describe yourself as a pitcher? Just kind of your pitch mix, how that's evolved throughout the years?
Well, I think obviously I'm still like a power four-seam guy. I've got my changeup, which is my second best pitch in my opinion. And then I've got my sweeper and slowly working on a gyro. Curveball was a big thing when I first got drafted. And now with the Mariners, I haven't used it a whole lot. I think I maybe threw it less than 10 times last year in the entire season. So I'm curious as to what they'll do with me, if they'll add in pitches, tweak some stuff. I'm not quite sure, but I think with the ride I get on my four seam and how that plays off with everything else, it'll be interesting to see what they have in store for me.
Yeah, there's a ton of action on that changeup too. I mean, would you say that would be your best pitch, or the slider, of course, as well? I mean, what would you consider your best pitch?
I would say my fastball and then my changeup off of that. Obviously, with velo plays a good role in that. So once that starts to tick back up again, since I'm not sure what my 100% is at the moment, we'll see where that plays. And then, but changeup has for sure been the best pitch. I've had a lot of tweaks with it with the Mariners, and we've started to finally dial it in. I think my bullpen's building up through the TJ process. We're showing some pretty good life to it, even at not even 100% effort yet. So I'm excited to see where that's going to be at. I lost some feel with the sweeper and slider since it's been so long. and they're very picky with throwing that early on in the progression. But I am excited to see if, with me being healed and having TJ and being solid, if the velo ticks up with all of my pitches, which is only going to help me. So.
Yeah, and do you expect to be ready for what's kind of the timeline as far as getting back on the mound? What do you expect?
Well, with the Mariners, they were saying that I was going to face live hitters probably towards the end of February. I think from what I heard, the Dodgers are saying that things might be a little quicker than that, depending on how I'm looking in January. So I could be seeing live hitters probably mid-February is what I'm guessing.
So you're going to be pretty much good to go, really. I mean, by the start of spring training, it sounds like.
Yeah, and for sure for seasons.
So there was my man, Tyler Gough. Very excited to be in this organization. I'm going to post the rest of that interview, talk about his journey. Very interesting guy. Did a rapid fire round. His favorite movie is Tombstone. He said he would be a marine biologist if he wasn't playing baseball. He said his first car was a Chevy Silverado. A Chevy Silverado silver pickup truck. That's a solid first car. Robert, what was your first car? Let's get that producer cam going. We'll get you in the mix.
I'm gonna get that producer cam set up in a second.
Well, what was your first car? Let's say.
I'm still driving my first car, Honda Civic, baby.
Honda Civic, baby.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Honda Civic, man. What color is it again?
Silver.
Silver. Oh, nice. Silver's great. Doesn't show dirt. Super clean. Yeah, we'll get some more from Robert later. We hear from Emmet too. Emmet's first car. That's always. I think it's a fun question to ask these players because it's like now they're driving like Bentleys and Benzes and Rolls Royces and Ferraris and all this stuff. But we were actually just talking about during the interview, guys like Tyler Gough, they want to be a part of the Dodgers organization because it can be frustrating to play in an organization where they're able to acquire free agents and make trades and get all-stars and extend them. So it feels like there's only a handful of positions or opportunities to advance from the minor leagues all the way up to being contributors. But for every Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani, you do get a Walker Buehler, a Cody Bellinger, a Corey Seager, a Will Smith. There is room for development, and that's where the Dodgers really do flex their financial muscle outside of just, we're going to go and spend big and get the big players in. We're going to break out that checkbook and slide over that blank check to Yamamoto, slide over that blank check to Shohei Ohtani. There is no salary cap in Major League Baseball, but even if there was, it wouldn't change how the Dodgers would have more coaches, would pour more money into development and analytics and finding a way to optimize these players. So a guy like Tyler Gough in this organization has a chance to have better success, in my opinion, just because from what I've heard, for every one coach in another organization, the Dodgers got 3, sometimes even 4. So you got more coaches, more people behind the scenes, more employees in. Hey, it's one of the many reasons why the Dodgers are the model franchise in Major League Baseball. So you can spend on that kind of stuff too. It's about developing your own, and either he helps you, he provides depth for you, he is a trade piece, but that's why you're trying to develop all these guys. But when we come back, the Dodgers would sign Kyle Tucker under one condition. Also, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, is he recruiting Munetaka Murakami? All that more coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network, your front row seat to everything Dodgers all season long. Home of the #1 Dodgers podcast in the world, Dodgers Dugout Live, hosted by me, Doug McKain. Friends call me Dmac, and we cover everything about your boys in blue, everything you need to know about Dodger baseball in less than an hour. We've got breaking news, post-game breakdowns, roster updates, trade rumors, in-depth player analysis, Dodgers trivia, you name it. Whether it's a wild walk-off at the Ravine, a key call-up from OKC, we've got the insight, we got the coverage, and we're here for you all year long. We're the #1 Dodgers site on every platform, and we're born and based in LA. We're loyal to the soil. Dodger baseball is what we do. Trusted by tens of thousands of daily listeners, Dodgers Nation is more than just recaps. We are LA. Whether you're in Echo Park or out in the Valley, Beverly Hills, whatever it is, if you bleed blue, this pod's for you. The more you guys subscribe, the bigger we can build, and we can do this together. So stay up to date with our Dodgers Nation post-game shows and breakdowns and podcasts. You can listen while you're lifting, while you're in traffic, or while pretending to answer work emails. We won't tell. Subscribe now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your baseball fix. So if you're a new listener or a longtime listener of the podcast, write us a review and we'll read it on the show. Join the conversation, stay ahead of the game, and never miss a pitch with the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. Got some comments. We got Chip. My first car was a 1968 Chevelle Malibu. Everyone dropped their first cars. By the way, we got producer Rob. Hey, as you guys pointed out, Rob kind of has the Yasiel Puig, the Cincinnati Reds Yasiel Puig look a little bit happening right there. He's killing the game. I like the vibe. So your first car, Civic Silver. Emma. We got social media guru Emma. Emma, what was your first car?
Mine was a silver Nissan Versa.
Silver Nissan Versa. Nice. Nice. That's fire. Of 20. Nice. Yeah. My first car was rocking a Toyota Celica back in the day. A white one. I had a Mazda. I called it my Maserati at one point. Then hit a Jeep. Hey, I don't know. I love Jeeps. You guys like Jeeps? Anyone into Jeeps?
Yeah, I do like the Jeep.
Okay, what's your dream car? What's your dream car?
I like the old school cars, like an old school Beamer would be cool. I'm not like super into cars.
No, that'd be cool. I gotta go with the class. How about you? How about Rob? Dream car.
I'm not super into cars, but I do like, Ferraris. Like they
hit the
look
Rari.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. 63 Impala, 57 Chevy, Jaguar XKS. I mean, look, you can't go wrong. The Bugatti Chiron is a crazy vehicle, but let's see if we get any funny ones. Your first car. All right. We got the 84 Mercury Capri, 67 Chevy Bel Air. That's fire. I love it. 89 Chevy Cavalier. I love it. All right. So here in our second segment, we are diving into the latest Dodgers trade rumors, free agency, offseason, hot stove rumors. And first thing I want to point out is let's go to this picture of Yoshinobu Yamamoto having dinner with Munetaka Murakami. And this is interesting. I mean, you got Yamamoto out there and you got, it's always great to spend time with some friends. And Murakami, is he a trade target? I mean, is he a signing possibility for the Dodgers? Look, what if you signed him and you threw him in left field? And you kept Teo in right and you kept Pages in center field. If you think he could rake, who knows? Who knows? But we got Yamamoto GM working on him. Okay, let's get into Kyle Tucker because that is the top free agent available in most lists. He's number one. Kyle Tucker is the guy as far as all-star, a 30 home run guy, potentially a 30 stolen base guy. But is he the guy? Is he the guy that you think can be the face of a franchise? Because any player that is looking for $300 to $400 million, you would expect them to be a face of your franchise type of player. He has hit 30 home runs in a season twice, once in 2021, once in 2022. Last year for the Cubs, he had 266, had a 377 on base, a 464 slug, a 136 weighted runs created plus. Did deal with some injuries throughout the season that really kind of derailed what was going to be a great year. All in all, he finished with 4.4 FWAR. If you look at some of the projections of his contract, Fangraphs has him at 10 years, $370 million. Some other ones have him at $400 million as his ceiling. And when you look at him as a player, the question is, what kind of player are you getting for him at the price that he's looking for? I mean, you look at those numbers, right? 4.5 WAR season. That's kind of what he is. 36% above average bat. His highest weighted runs created plus he's ever had in a season didn't play a full year. In a full year, it was a 146 weighted runs created plus, hit 294 with the Astros back in 2021. Those are really good numbers, not quite MVP numbers. And if you kind of look at where he was in 2024, that was on pace to be an MVP level year. Hit 289, 179 weighted runs created plus at a 4.2 FWAR in 78 games. But then he lost 3 months due to a fracture in his right shin. And that kind of leveled up expectations. And I look at Kyle Tucker and I say to myself, is this truly a guy that feels like a Dodger? Is this the type of player that you really want to give that kind of money to? I mean, I look at Kyle Tucker and I think to myself, this is just the top item this year, right? But this is like one of those years where you don't have like that elite Christmas toy, right? It's like some years there's the Xbox, the Nintendo Wii, Tickle Me Elmo, Furby, and some years it's like the robot dog, right? It's just like that was the big present that year. The truth is, like, this is not a PS5. Like, this is not the Nintendo 64 when it first came out. This is not that. This just happens to be the top guy that's available this year. And yes, the Dodgers do have an outfield need, and he certainly would be a massive upgrade to what they have now. But according to Jeff Passan, he wrote, though Tucker makes sense for a Los Angeles Dodgers team in need of a productive outfield bat, sources said their interest is more likely to be on a high dollar, shorter term deal. So what the Dodgers are saying is, hey, at the right price, we would consider you, but we are not doing the blank check thing. We're not doing the Ohtani thing, the Yamamoto thing. We have a cap to what we'd be willing to pay you. And that tells you, I think, everything you need to know about the kind of player he is and how the Dodgers view him. Think about this. The Cubs traded for him. Chicago's a big market. And yes, they haven't given out all the big, massive deals like the Dodgers, the Yankees, or the Mets, but they have money to spend if they wanted to spend it. The Cubs traded for Kyle Tucker, and they have virtually no interest in signing him to a long-term deal. The Cubs traded for Kyle Tucker, and Cubs fans don't really think that, oh, we need to sign Kyle Tucker back. It's not like when Juan Soto went to the Mets and Yankees fans like, man, we lost Juan Soto. It's not like that. And just imagine if Kyle Tucker were in another free agent class. Imagine if he was a part of the class that had Aaron Judge and a part of the class that included Juan Soto or Ohtani's class or some of these guys. Would we even be talking about him with the Dodgers as a realistic option? No, you wouldn't. Because the Dodgers only pay for special. They only break the bank. They only back up the Brinks truck for special. I know you see those tier lists, and the S tier, when it goes to the Dodgers, stands for special. Kyle Tucker is not special. He's extremely good. He has the talent and the ability to put together an elite season when you combine all of his traits, but he doesn't do one thing in particular that's elite or great. He just doesn't. And then just look, let's close our eyes for a second and just kind of say some of these names. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Kyle Tucker. It doesn't even sound like a Dodger. It doesn't feel like a Dodger. I mean, you mean to tell me they would give $300+ million for a player that might end up having the 7th best-selling jersey on the team that he signed with. Right? Another thing I heard about Kyle Tucker, which I found pretty interesting, is he's dealt with injuries. He's missed time throughout his career, and some of his injuries are ones where they're like not season ending, but it just takes longer for him to come back than you would for some of those injuries. And there was an injury that he had last year where he had the calf injury. He had that calf injury in September, a left calf strain. And he was working with the Cubs doctors, but then all of a sudden, Kyle Tucker goes to Tampa, goes back home to Florida to see his own doctors to look at his calf. Like, if that happened in Los Angeles, if that happened in New York, I think it would have been a big story. Just imagine that. I mean, we know what Walker Buehler did last year. He kind of went back to work on his own stuff in Kentucky, but that was a totally different thing. Imagine Kyle Tucker not trusting the Dodgers' health and staff, like their trainers. Imagine that. It's almost incomprehensible. So look, at the right price, I would absolutely, like, if you told me, hey, I could get Kyle Tucker for Cody Bellinger money, sure. Kyle Tucker is a better player than Cody Bellinger at the same price. But Kyle Tucker for double Cody Bellinger money? No, absolutely not. Like, the Dodgers, like I said, they only do special. Is Kyle Tucker a mansion in Beverly Hills? Fine. But if he's a mansion in Beverly Hills, Shohei Ohtani is a 50-foot yacht. No, he's a spaceship. No, he's a trip to outer space. And Yamamoto's a private island somewhere, right? So, look, we know what the Dodgers offered Bryce Harper a couple years ago. It was 4 years, $180 million. And that would be at a $45 million AAV. But here's the other thing about Kyle Tucker. He's not a Scott Boras client. He's represented by XL. And XL has not done the moves that Scott Boras has done in recent years, where Boras with Blake Snell and Boras with Cody Bellinger has signed his clients to deals that get them high AAVs, but also give them the ability to opt out and retest the market. I don't think that's going to be the case with Tucker. I think Tucker, he's a guy that I could see signing with the San Francisco Giants. I could see signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. That's the market that he needs to be in. He needs to be swimming in those waters. And I'm talking about that next tier. Tier 1, Dodgers, Yankees, Mets. Like, that's that first tier you're looking at. And even that is as far as results go, the Dodgers are the only one in that group that's actually winning World Series. Another team I would consider if I was signing Kyle Tucker would be the Philadelphia Phillies. I certainly think that he makes sense for the Phillies. So yeah, he's a really good player. He doesn't feel like a star on the Los Angeles Dodgers. And look, you might not think this, but I can tell you from speaking to people within the Dodgers organization, that stuff matters. It really does. Like, putting butts in the seats, drawing over 4 million fans, it matters. Look at the guys they have now. Look at the guys that they're willing to pay. Shohei Ohtani, best player of all time. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, best pitcher in Japanese baseball history in the NPB, World Series hero, World Series MVP, and you got him at 25 at a time when no teams have access to ace-level pitchers at that age when you can just pay them outright. Freddie Freeman fell into the lap, World Series MVP, future Hall of Famer. Mookie Betts, you get him at 28, future Hall of Famer. Kyle Tucker is not any of those guys. So I know it's, like I said, I know he is the top free agent this year. But I think it's just because it's kind of a weak year for free agents. And look, he would help, but honestly, give me Cody Bellinger at a fraction of the price. Give me Cody Bellinger at a fraction of the price. Trade for Jarren Duran. Trade for Byron Buxton. If I could have all three of those, when I look at the cost to acquire the net benefits, I would take all three of those guys over getting Kyle Tucker at that price. So I know I look like a Kyle Tucker hater. I'm not. I mean, it's just in the words of the great Randy Jackson, that's a no from me, dog, on the Kyle Tucker front at that price. So let me get your comments on that. And I can sell you on Tucker too. The sell job on Tucker is that first, he jammed his right hand while diving into second base, trying to steal a base. The Cubs said the x-rays came back negative. He played through it. He had his best month of the year, hit 311 in June, had a 578 slug, and then he just fell off the face of the earth. So another major con was after June, he hit 189 and had one home run in 38 games from the start of July through the end of August. So it got to a point last year where Craig Counsell gave him a mental reset and sat him down. And then it was reported in late August that he had a small fracture between his ring finger and his pinky, and that's what happened on that stolen base attempt. So even though those x-rays came negative, he was playing through an injury. He came back to the lineup a little later, hit 259, had 375 on base. He had hit 266, had 22 home runs, 25 steals, had 87 walks, 88 strikeouts in that stretch. So these numbers look more like the 2021, 2023 version of Kyle Tucker. So there's good Tuck, there's bad Tuck. Beginning of the year, end of the year. He'll be entering his age 29 season. If you sign him to a 10 or 11 year deal, you're taking him to his age 38, age 39 season. So that kind of lines him up with the Guerreros, the Sotos, the Bogarts, the Trey Turners, guys who got paid through their age 40 season. Look, the production he's had, he definitely kind of warrants a deal like that. But yeah, I want all your thoughts on Kyle Tucker. Right now, to me, he's not that guy. Like I said, this is one of those Christmases where you don't have like the toy you have to have. You just don't. We got BC Bryce. Would have been a good outfield option. Career 1,000 OPS in the playoffs. 4-seater 777. We need a group of Dodgers Nation fans and LA fans trip to the Hawaiian Islands. Dmac Shirts inspired Talk Dodgers store. Yeah, this is kind of my fun shirt Friday. But I'll tell you something. My washer dryer machine is broken. I had a dude come out yesterday. It cost me $500 to fix. I'm going to have to buy like a new one. The washer and dryers, they're super expensive. They're like $2,000 at this point. So I had to break out the Friday fun shirt on a Wednesday. So that's kind of where we're at. Now, let's keep going to the comments. We'll talk about Tarek Skubal. Puig is available. Puig is available. Puig is available. Very available. Extremely available. And we'll see if he gets that minor league tryout that he's hoping for. No Tucker, no Belly. We had DFA Cody. Why Cody? Go back and watch yesterday's episode because he's a totally different player now. Cody Bellinger is the 16th most difficult hitter to strike out in Major League Baseball. He used to be one of the easiest to strike out when he was struggling. He's totally changed. He's been a different type of hitter. All right. Now I'm going to spend a good amount of time talking to you guys. Let it fly. We're going to pick out a comment of the show. That's coming up next on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
All right, we've got Antwone says would rather just get Bellinger back and go all in for Skubal. Yeah, a couple things on Skubal. We're going to talk more about him tomorrow, and I know I would love my Skubal snacks. The thing about Skubal is this, is some teams are hesitant to go all in on starting pitchers just because there's a higher injury risk for those types of guys versus going after a position player. The thing about Tarek Skubal is from Hayward, California. Grew up an Oakland A's fan. From the West Coast. He is a pitcher you're just not going to draft and develop. It's highly unlikely you're going to get a pitcher at this caliber. We are talking about a pitcher that could win his 3rd straight Cy Young. Last to do that was Greg Maddux. We are talking about a pitcher who is on the short list for best pitchers in baseball. Him, Paul Skeens. I think Yamamoto is in there. So, a couple things in play for Skubal is this. is how confident are you in your current starting rotation and that they're going to be healthy for next season? Because Yamamoto pitched a lot this year. Ohtani coming off that second Tommy John surgery. You've got Glasnow's dealt with injuries. Blake Snell missed a lot of time. And also, could you flip one of those current guys to get Skubal and then trade him to an extension? Just imagine that. Imagine if you could include Tyler Glasnow in the deal, and then you get Skubal, who's an upgraded Glasnow, and then some of his money's off the books. The Tigers still have an ace under contract for a couple years, and then you get prospects. But the truth is, the Tigers are not going to re-sign Tarik Skubal. They do not have the financial muscle or the history to do that, because everyone you talked about Skubal is he's going to get between $350 and $400 million. And there's only a handful of teams that'd be even willing to consider that amount. And by all indications, the Detroit Tigers aren't one of them. And if you do not trade Tarik Skubal in the offseason and you wait to do it during the season, you are going to get less of a return. Sometimes, depending on the player or the situation, you can get more value by making trades in the offseason than waiting during the season. But during the season, you're just opening up to contenders, really, right? And in the offseason, more teams think they're going to have a chance to win. And with Tarik Skubal, a full year is very different than a rental, a true half year, just taking you to the postseason. And I think if you're the Dodgers, if you do want to add another ace to your stable, and now you have proof of concept that the model of going out there and signing elite starting pitchers leads to World Series titles. And that is, I think, a model that could influence this decision. Because a few years ago, I mean, hey, Lance Lynn just gave up another home run.
Bruh.
Clayton Kershaw got rocked. He's playing through injury in the NLDS Game 1 in 2023. Even in 2022, you had Julio Urias and Clayton Kershaw. That version of Julio, that version of Kershaw would not have started any games on this last year's version of the Dodgers that's won the World Series, because Snell's better, Ohtani's better, Glasnow's better, Yamamoto's better. So the Dodgers now know that you can win World Series titles. You can win World Series titles with elite starting pitching. And this group pitched a lot this year in the postseason, and they also slow played things in the regular season. So I agree to that. If I'm the Dodgers, if I have a chance to get Tarik Skubal, I absolutely do it. I really do, because you have a chance to three-peat, and it's only happened twice in Major League Baseball. The Oakland A's did it. The New York Yankees did it from 98 to 2000. And what do we say all season last year? The Dodgers could be the first team to go back-to-back since the 2000 Yankees. Well, what are we going to say all year next year? The Dodgers could be the first team to three-peat since the 2000 Yankees. And adding Tarik Skubal and giving you that depth where, yeah, there's always that risk of, hey, he's going to walk and he is a Boris client, so he's going to get him paid. But, hey, who's to say the Dodgers won't want to add another starting pitcher of that caliber? Because Roki has a chance to develop and be an ace. Paul Skeens is still a couple years away from, I think, getting traded. I think maybe he gets traded next offseason or the season after that, but he's still in arbitration. So the Pirates might hold on to him unless he voices his displeasure with Pittsburgh. So he's probably not going to go. So I'm in on that. Trust me, we'll talk more Tarik Skubal. We'll try to influence that. In this offseason, if they sign Devin Williams, Cody Bellinger, trade for Tarik Skubal, they win the offseason. And guess what? The joke used to be, oh, the Dodgers hang their offseason champions banner. Oh, the Dodgers hang that papered champions banner. Great. They won the offseason. They're not going to win the regular season. What is it now? The Dodgers win the offseason, and they don't win the regular season, but they win the postseason. So that's the two seasons you need to win. Offseason, postseason. And that's where the Dodgers have changed. In the past, it was maybe win the offseason, but not really. Then win the regular season and lose the postseason. Now things have changed, and I think that adding Tarek Skubal would definitely be it. Put a for sale sign on Tanner Scott. That's from Carl. Dodgers are hoarding for Skeens. It's why they don't trade rushing. Pirates have nothing at catcher, and he would be a key piece. Skeens for DePaula, rushing Hope, Freeland, Ferris, Morales, and wow, that's a big package. Hey, that's what I said during the trade deadline last year, is you only empty the farm system clip if it's for a superstar, and Paul Skeens certainly would be that. I did speak to a source yesterday that told me there's no chance he's getting traded this offseason. He also told me there's no chance that the Pirates are going to sign him to an extension. So that tells you at some point he will be traded, and if he maintains his health, the Dodgers certainly have the farm system to do that. The Dodgers have anything. They're like what type of currency do you accept? Cash, credit card, crypto, real estate. I got everything. Checks, cashier's checks, gift cards. What do you want? The Dodgers have every form of currency there is. PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Black Card. However you want to pay, the Dodgers have that method of payment. Prospect capital, big league ready talent, financial muscle, straight up cash. So that always puts you in a position to really be a player in any type of move that could potentially be made. We got Don Davis. Detroit isn't going to let go of Skubal any more than Pittsburgh is letting go of Skeens. Don't kid yourself. Could not disagree more. The truth of the matter is, the reality of what you're saying, and another reality from speaking to sources, is there's 0% chance that Skeens is getting traded, but there is more than a 0% chance of Skubal getting traded. Is that a 1% chance, 20% chance, 50% chance? Right now, we don't know, but the truth is there is a chance that Skubal could get traded this offseason, but there is no chance that Skeens is getting traded this offseason. So that's just the truth there. Dodger Dog. Tigers would want MLB talent. Glass now plus $20 million. Rushing and Freeland for Skubal, depending on him accepting a 10-year, $350 million extension. So the odds of having Boris have his client agree to a $350 million extension, I think, are pretty unlikely. It's not impossible. I've talked to Scott Boras about this myself, and one thing he's told me, hey, I work for the player. It's not the other way around. If there's a player that expresses a deep desire and interest to go somewhere and be somewhere, that's going to be the case. But 350 would be a really good extension number that if I'm Skubal's camp, I'd consider, because if you go down with an injury, hey, today's price ain't yesterday's price, right? So if he would have suffered an injury, that would make a lot of sense. But I also think, too, he could probably get 375. I mean, think about this. When Shohei Ohtani didn't get traded, and we were talking about, Shohei could get $400 million, maybe even $500 million. He ends up getting, in present day value, $463 million. Anytime you hear people say $700 million for Shohei Ohtani, your brain should not think 700, because that's not accurate. He's getting $463 million with the deferrals. And look what Juan Soto got. He got over 700 with the deferral. So sometimes the market can explode, and there's no really great position players out there too. DMAC, I agree on Kyle Tucker. That's from Sam Steves. Look, I'd rather get Bo Bichette $200 million for 8 years. Give me Bo Bichette for $200 million, 8 years, than Kyle Tucker for $400 million. Like, he wouldn't be my top spending level free agent this offseason. Dodgers, Yankees are out on Tucker. Dodgers can get him for 10 years, $400 million. Letting him go to the Phillies with Wheeler, Sanchez, and Luzardo would backfire next October. Look, I mean, Trent Grisham did accept the qualifying offer to go back to the Yankees for almost $23 million. Takes another outfielder off of the possible names you could go out there and sign. I don't think the Dodgers were ever going to consider signing Trent Grisham in the first place. Will the Yankees actually sign Tucker? It's not the Yankees of old, and who knows if they would have. I think the Phillies make sense. Hey, I'm willing to take that risk, because the Dodgers, they beat the Phillies in 4 games, and they didn't even play their best baseball. So Bryce Harper's getting older. Trey Turner's never been great in the postseason. Kyle Schwarber's getting older. We'll see if he goes back there. Yes, you have great pitching with Sanchez and Luzardo. I'm willing to take that risk. That you can't think of your organization as, the Dodgers don't construct their roster because they're afraid of the Philadelphia Phillies. How many World Series have the Phillies won with Bryce Harper? Checks notes. As many as the Padres have in their trophy case. 0. Dodgers dog. Go out and get Skubal and let the haters complain. Dodgers ruining baseball. But Mookie said players have to wait 7 to 8 years to win. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, Mookie Betts did say that. And hey, these players want to win. Keith Potter, my issue with Skubal and Skeens is that they haven't had their TJ surgeries yet. So the Dodgers have to empty the farm system and their miss plus. Yeah, that's the thing too. I mean, that's the big risk you take because there's always a chance that you go down with Tommy John surgery. That's why it's a major risk. But that's also a reason why you do trade for a Skubal too, because some of the guys you currently have are also have that risk as well. I mean, it is a game of Russian roulette with starting pitchers for sure. We got CCFIF Fresno. I'm still sold on the idea that Buxton and Donovan acquiring trades is the best course of action. That's for now and in the future. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of Donovan. I'm a big proponent of Buxton. I want to see them make a trade this offseason because you've got a lot of talent down the farm system. And we know, look, congratulations to Gavin Lux getting married. And he got his ring with the Dodgers too, but they waited too long to trade Gavin Lux. They probably waited too long to trade Michael Busch. We'll see if they wait too long to trade Dalton Rushing. They got guys that you want to maximize their value, and they've kept guys for a little too long the last couple of years. Sign Puig and ban him from the strip clubs and in general. Okay. Give him the James Harden treatment. Puig would never do that. He's not going to strip clubs. Maybe Bible study, but not strip clubs. Daniel Bellinger has hard to come back from where he has his numbers don't lie. Sign him. He's 29 years old. Big Joe Smash. Dmac trade Bobby Miller and Alex Freeland to the Orioles for Taylor Ward and Bautista. Yeah, I doubt that the Orioles are going to trade a guy they just traded for. Taylor Ward did get traded to the O's. We got what up Dmac from Bong Song. What up Dmac? We don't need a $400 million center fielder. 4 out of our top 5 prospects are outfielders. I'll take my chances with Belly for $150 million, the prospects, and invest the rest in the bullpen. I like your strategy. I really do. We need contact hitters big time. Mr. Big Daddy Joe. They definitely need to revamp this offense because I don't think you're going to get away with winning another World Series where you're scoring less than 4 runs per game. DMAC, I love your Dodgers. Sure, thank you. I look like I'm the manager at your local Islands Burgers. I look like I work at the Dodgers resort or something. But thank you. I already got my Kyle Tucker jersey from Duckworth. Okay. Hey, Ryan Peavy. We can either trade for Durant or Adele, but those should be the only options we should be talking about. Totally disagree with that. I think if Buxton's available, you have to consider him. $45 million, a couple years of Buxton. If he stays healthy, and then, yes, that's a major if. That applies to any player. We've got Oceanel. Bellinger is an above-average defensive player at multiple positions. He hit well when plugged in between good hitters. And yeah, go back yesterday's show. I did a deep dive on Belly. I definitely agree. All right, let me pick out a comment of the show. Got some more in here to choose from. We've got Mario Landaveri, the Belly, Williams, Scoobs, and we're done. So that's your dream off season. Hell no to $350 to $400 million for Skubal. Trade rushing. DMAC, Rams winning all this year. Hey, stay tuned for the LA Sports Report a couple hours from now. Justin Lamas trade for Hollywood. Why would you want to trade for Anthony Rendon? Are we crazy here? I have heard some Anthony Rendon, Kyle Tucker talk, which is interesting. We've got Bush is legit. Yeah, and he could have been legit for this team. He could have maximized that a little more. Bichette makes too much sense, and he adds the Dominican culture to the clubhouse. That's from Bloodhound. That's interesting to me, but I don't know how he adds to the Dominican culture, which is interesting. Yep, Mr. Classic Lux did get married. A lot of Dodgers were at that wedding, which was cool. But all right, guys, we are running out of time, so let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off. All right, today for the walk-off. Thought
thought this was pretty cool. Look at Kike Hernandez with his daughter doing a little makeup, having fun. His daughter Penelope. And you got Kike with the lipstick, got the princess tiara on there. You've got the hair color there, and it's just who Kike is, man. A fun-loving guy, having fun with his daughter, and hey, man, this is just a girl dad for sure. Best girl dad, Kike Hernandez, and this is pretty awesome stuff. He kind of I like the smile too right there. And how about this too? I saw this. This was pretty fun. There is a parent in Mexico that named their child after the World Series. It is Jesus Ohtani Lomeli Serrano. I like that. The Ohtani has a nice nickname to it. I kind of think, look, if the Dodgers trade for Tarek Skubal, and if I ever have a son, I'm going to name him Tarek McKain. Tarek McKain. I think that, look, Tarek is a cool name too, right? It's I don't know. What okay, how about this? What would you name your son if you had to pick a Dodgers player's name, Rob?
I would go with Mookie Lynn.
Oh, you do the combined.
I
love those.
You know what I'm saying?
The combined ones.
Right.
Yeah, it's like why is my son's name Yamamoto, Roki, Freeman, Teoscar? Yeah. No, I love those. Yeah, but I put it out there. Dodgers trade for Tarek Skubal. If I ever have a son, it's going to be named Tarek. Okay, Tarek McKain is awesome. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Hey, let me know down below. What would you guys answer to that question be? We'll do some more. Pika Peep, Hope looks like a legit middle fielder of the order. Yeah, look, there's hope. DePaula could make his debut this year. There's a lot of names for sure.
Dmac, I had a question for you though. I know you're a girl dad too. Would you hit that makeup that Kike got that, his daughter? If your daughter came up to you, would you hit that?
For sure. I mean, 100%. I mean, I would do it. Look, I mean, there's something about hey man, like you know how it is. If she asks you to do something, you're just gonna do it. You can do crazy stuff with the lipstick and with the tiara. I think I would do a show with it, man. Honestly.
You go public with it.
I would prefer Dodger blue lipstick. I would prefer Dodger blue lipstick than the pink and the red. But yeah, no, absolutely. It'd be good times. It'd be good times for sure. But look, Freddie McKain, Tarek McKain McKain kind of sounds like a baller. It really does. I could you know what? The worst question is like, hey, give me a fun fact about yourself. You know what I mean? I saw I'd rather walk barefoot across a rug made of Legos than give a fun fact about yourself. You know what I mean? But I actually have a bunch of middle names. My full name is Douglas Patrick Michael William Clarence Thomas McKain. So maybe I could hit Tarek with a bunch of middle names. You know what I mean? Just do the whole 26-man roster, right? Tarek, Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, Will, Teoscar, Muncy. I mean, it'd be good times. But Mookie McKain would be nice too. Okay, this is getting off the rails. But let me know. Dmac Sasaki is my favorite though. Yeah, that's what's up. But all right, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Special thanks to producer Robert, always rocking with us, Emma, the whole gang here at Dodgers Nation Studios. And we'll see you a little later for the LA Sports Report, where we're talking more Dodger baseball over there. And yeah, join us a little later. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the LA Sports Report. And remember, most importantly, follow me over at DMAC_LA. Most importantly, though, absolutely nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.